You can pray for destiny. You can dream about it, write it in journals, even talk about it until your lips are dry. But none of that will matter if you don't have discipline. Discipline is not a feeling. It's not a mood. It is a mindset, a decision to be consistent, even when your emotions scream the opposite. You don't wake up disciplined. You train yourself to be disciplined. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you are called to be. It's not glamorous. It's not loud. It doesn't look like the fireworks of success. No, discipline is the grind behind the curtain. It's the early mornings, the late nights, the skipped pleasures, the quiet study, the rejection of excuses. You see, destiny doesn't come to the distracted. It doesn't come to those who are casual with their calling. It finds those who are focused, those who understand that their purpose is too great to be wasted on temporary satisfaction. Discipline tells your emotions, you don't run this, my destiny runs this. Discipline means that even when you don't feel like doing the work, you still do it because the goal is greater than the mood. That's what separates those who dream from those who become. We live in a generation that celebrates instant gratification, but greatness is not instant. It is intentional. It takes grit. It takes repetition. It takes saying no to things others say yes to. Do you know why most people never reach their full potential? It's not because they're not gifted. It's not because they don't have ideas. It's because they're not willing to submit their talents to structure. An unstructured life will sabotage a gifted soul. Let me say that again. An undisciplined mind will ruin a brilliant future. You can be the most talented person in the room, but if you don't master consistency, your talent will rot in the shadow of your laziness. And discipline is not something that waits for ideal circumstances. It's not seasonal, it's daily. You've got to force yourself. Yes, force your mind, your body, your emotions. They will fight you, but you must decide that your calling is worth the conflict. Every great person, every innovator, every leader, every master in their field did not get there by accident. They made a decision. I will keep showing up. I will keep growing. I will keep refining. I will keep training. Not once a week, not when I feel inspired, but every single day. We have to break the idea that discipline is punishment. No, discipline is a gift. It is a divine tool. Discipline builds the character to handle what you prayed for. You want success. Success without discipline is disaster in disguise. That's why you see people reach the top and fall quickly. They had the skill to rise, but not the strength to remain. It takes discipline to rise, but it takes even more discipline to stay grounded when you're flying high. So stop saying, I'm waiting on God, when God is waiting on your discipline. Stop saying, when the time is right, when time is passing every day, waiting for you to respect it. Time honors those who use it wisely. If you want to see transformation in your life, real change, not just hype, then you must prioritize discipline over desire. Discipline is not about doing what's easy. It's about doing what's necessary. And let me teach you something. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. You will fall, you will fail, but if you're disciplined, you get up again because you're not ruled by perfection. You're ruled by purpose. You're not moved by emotions. You're anchored by vision. When you are truly disciplined, setbacks don't stop you. They shape you. Pain doesn't paralyze you. It prepares you. If you want to reach your destiny, you must become a student of discipline. Study yourself. What triggers your distractions? What destroys your focus? Who drains your energy? What habits feed your laziness? You've got to be honest with yourself and begin to build the guardrails that will keep your purpose on track. Discipline says, I don't care how I feel. I care about what I'm building. Listen to me. Your future depends on your ability to lead yourself, not just inspire others, not just post quotes online, but to actually lead yourself in silence when nobody's clapping. When no one is watching, when it doesn't feel good, can you still get up and grind? Can you still read when your friends are partying? Can you still pray, still plan, still push when everything in you says quit? You cannot wait for the perfect moment, the perfect feeling, the perfect conditions. Discipline starts now. It starts with one decision. I will no longer be a slave to how I feel. I will be a servant of what I believe. And what I believe is that my purpose is real, my potential is sacred, my time is valuable, and if I want to be the best, if I want to fulfill what God has placed inside of me, I've got to force myself. Not to impress others, not to prove something, but because I know that discipline is the doorway to my destiny. Comfort is a silent killer of greatness. It feels good, it looks safe, it sounds reasonable, but it robs you of becoming who you were born to be. Comfort doesn't challenge you. Comfort doesn't stretch you. Comfort doesn't require you to grow. It only requires that you stay exactly where you are. But here's the truth. You cannot become your best self inside your comfort zone. If you want to grow, if you want to rise, evolve, expand, you have to be willing to walk away from the familiar, to step into spaces that make your knees tremble and your faith rise. Everything great begins with discomfort. Growth is not a warm bath. It's a workout. It's resistance. It's sweat. It's tears. It's pushing your mind, your spirit, your skills beyond what's easy. That's why most people don't grow. Not because they're not capable, but because they are addicted to ease. You cannot be addicted to ease and expect excellence. You have to be willing to stretch, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, until the old version of you can no longer contain what God is doing in your life. Comfort tells you, stay here, this is enough, don't risk anything, don't try something new, what if you fail? But growth whispers, there's more in you, there's more to learn, there's more to do, there's more to become. That whisper is quiet because growth is not loud in its arrival. It's loud in its results. The people you admire, the lives you want to emulate, the mentors you respect, they all have one thing in common. They refused to settle for comfort. They chose courage over convenience. They made peace with being stretched, with being uncomfortable, with walking through the valley before standing on the mountain. Let me make this plain. Comfort is where your potential goes to sleep. When you get too comfortable, you stop questioning, you stop learning, you stop risking. You start living a repeat life, repeating the same patterns, having the same thoughts, running the same routines. And before long, you're no longer growing, you're just existing. That's not living. That's not destiny. That's maintenance, and you were not created to maintain. You were created to multiply, to evolve, to become. But becoming costs something. Growth always comes with a price tag. It costs security. It costs predictability. It might cost you relationships that were tied to your past, but cannot survive your future. It might cost you sleep because you're up late studying, planning, preparing. It might cost you comfort because now you're showing up in rooms where you're not the smartest, where you're learning instead of leading. But that's where the stretching happens. That's where the muscle is built. And here's what you must understand. Growth is not an event, it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time, and most of that time feels hard. It feels frustrating. You'll want to quit. You'll question if it's worth it. But those uncomfortable moments are exactly what are shaping you. You don't grow when it's easy. You grow when you're challenged. You grow when you're tired but keep going. You grow when fear says stop and faith says press on. You grow when you refuse to shrink back just because it's hard. Look at nature. Look at how seeds grow. A seed must break to become. It must be buried in darkness, surrounded by pressure, pushed by forces it cannot see. But deep inside, something is happening. That seed is transforming, expanding, rising up through the soil toward the light. And so it is with you. You may feel buried right now, pressured, surrounded. But that pressure is not meant to destroy you. It's meant to develop you. That dark place is not your prison. It's your preparation. You are not buried. You're planted, and planted things grow even when it's uncomfortable. We often pray for elevation, but we resist the discomfort that prepares us to handle it. But hear me, God never promotes the unprepared, and discomfort is divine preparation. It's training your character, your capacity, your commitment. So stop running from the hard thing, lean into it, press into it, because that thing that makes you nervous, that thing that scares you, that's probably the very door God is calling you to walk through. You've been asking for change, but change doesn't come with a pillow. It comes with pressure. It comes with pruning. It comes with the pain of letting go of who you were so you can rise into who you're meant to be. If you stay in your comfort zone, you'll survive. But if you leave it, you'll grow. You'll see what you're really made of. You'll discover strength you never knew you had. You'll gain wisdom, resilience, and power that only comes from walking through the fire, not around it. You don't get stronger by avoiding challenge. You get stronger by facing it, by enduring it, by refusing to give in when your comfort screams louder than your calling. So the next time you feel uncomfortable, don't retreat, rejoice. That's the sign that something new is being built in you. That's the signal that your future is pulling you forward. Growth is not meant to feel good. It's meant to make you good at what you've been called to do. Embrace it, pursue it, and remember, everything you want, everything you dream of, everything you were born to be, is waiting for you just outside the borders of your comfort zone. One of the greatest lies you've been taught is that you need to feel motivated to move forward, that you need to feel inspired to take action, that you need to wait until the timing feels right, the environment is perfect, and your heart is full of energy. But life doesn't move on feelings. Destiny does not respond to emotion. It responds to discipline, and discipline is built on habits, not hype. If you wait to feel ready, you'll miss your moment. If you wait to be motivated, you'll still be standing in the same place a year from now, wondering why you haven't changed. But let me tell you something powerful. You don't need to feel like it to do it. You don't need to be excited to be excellent. Excellence is not birthed from feelings. It's forged in routines. It's forged in the decision to be consistent even when your body is tired, your mind is distracted, and your soul is weary. Motivation is a spark. It gets you started. It might light the fire, but if you rely on that little spark to carry you through every season, you'll burn out. Because motivation fades, it comes and goes. It's seasonal, but habits are systems that sustain you. Habits keep going when motivation disappears. Habits are the backbone of achievement. It's not about how loud you start. It's about how long you can last. And habits give you stamina. Every successful person you admire didn't get there by chasing motivation. They got there because they trained themselves. They developed rituals, disciplines, routines, structures that made success automatic, not accidental. It's what you do daily that determines your destiny, not what you do occasionally. It's the morning you got up even when you wanted to sleep. It's the hour you studied when you could have scrolled. It's the 10 minutes you prayed when your mind was distracted. These small choices become powerful habits, and those habits create an unstoppable life. So I'm not going to ask you how motivated you feel. I'm going to ask you, what are your habits? What do you do when no one is watching? What choices are you making when your emotions are flat? What systems have you put in place that make your success non-negotiable? Because the truth is, you don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your habits. If your habits are weak, your results will be weak. But if your habits are strong, you can succeed even on your worst day. Don't you know that even Jesus had habits? The Bible says he withdrew to lonely places and prayed. That's a habit. That's a pattern. The Son of God didn't rely on divine motivation. He established rhythms of strength, of preparation, of focus. And if he needed discipline, so do you. If he had to carve out space to stay aligned with his purpose, so do you. You cannot live on yesterday's inspiration. You must build today's intention, and that comes through habits. The problem is, we think habits have to be massive to matter, but that's not true. Habits don't need to be big. They just need to be consistent. Start small. Start where you are. Get up 10 minutes earlier. Read 1 page a day. Speak 1 affirmation over your life every morning. Turn off 1 distraction each night. Do it until it becomes natural. Do it until it becomes normal, because what is normal for you becomes your new level. Your normal is either holding you back or lifting you up. The enemy of your future isn't failure, it's inconsistency. It's starting and stopping. It's being intense for 3 days and quitting on the 4th. But what if you stopped treating motivation like fuel and started treating your habits as the foundation? What if you designed your life around disciplines that align with your vision, rather than waiting for emotions that change with the wind? Let me teach you something deeper. Habits are a form of honor. When you build habits, you're honoring your time, you're honoring your calling, you're honoring your potential. You're saying to your future, I value you enough to train for you, to prepare for you, to structure my life in a way that serves you. That's why the Bible tells us, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. That's habit. That's effort. That's showing up every day with focus and intention, not relying on your feelings, but on your faithfulness. Because, hear me clearly, your life doesn't change by chance. It changes by choice, and the most powerful choices you can make are the ones you repeat. Habits are repeated obedience, repeated courage, repeated action. And if you build the right ones, you won't have to chase success. It will come find you. So stop saying, I'm just not feeling it today. Feelings are real, but they are not in charge. You are not a slave to how you feel. You are a steward of what you've been given, and if you will begin to build the kind of habits that serve your purpose, daily habits, disciplined habits, spiritual habits, mental habits, you will begin to see a harvest that does not depend on motivation, but on your maturity. Don't wait for motivation. That's a trap. Build the habit, build the discipline, show up when it's hard, train when it's lonely, practice when it's quiet, because what you repeat, you become. And if you build the right habits, you will build the best version of yourself. You say you want to walk in your purpose. You say you want to live out your calling. But let me tell you the truth that most people won't. Purpose comes with pressure. It doesn't arrive gently. It doesn't unfold without resistance. It doesn't come wrapped in comfort and ease. If you are truly walking in purpose, you will feel pressure not sometimes, but often. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're doing something right. Pressure is the environment where purpose is proven. It is the friction that shapes your character, the weight that strengthens your shoulders, the resistance that grows your roots deep. You don't become strong by being untouched. You become strong by being tested, and the test will come not when things are perfect, but when things are heavy, when life pushes against you, when expectations are high, when the cost feels great, and the outcome is unclear. That's when you find out what you're really made of. You've been asking for clarity. You've been asking for growth. But are you ready for the pressure that comes with that growth? You've been praying for elevation, but can you handle the altitude? Because the higher you go, the thinner the air gets, and the more pressure it takes to stay steady. Purpose will stretch you. It will challenge you. It will demand more than you feel capable of giving. But that's the beauty of it. You don't become who you are supposed to be without pressure. Think about how diamonds are made. They are not born shiny. They are not found in glittering boxes. Diamonds are formed deep in the earth under extreme heat and crushing pressure. That's what transforms common carbon into something valuable, and it's the same with you. You are not refined in the spotlight. You are refined in the struggle. Your purpose is not polished in easy seasons. It is chiseled out of hard places. So don't run from pressure. Recognize it as a signpost that you're stepping into something greater. Stop thinking that pressure means you're failing. No, pressure means you're forming. The struggle you feel is not punishment, it's preparation. God will allow pressure to develop what comfort never could. Pressure will wake up your potential. It will reveal hidden strength. It will demand a focus and discipline that you never had before. It's under pressure that you'll learn to pray when you want to panic. It's under pressure that you'll learn to stand when you feel like quitting. It's under pressure that you'll have to lead with integrity even when no one's clapping. Pressure teaches you how to depend on God when your own strength runs out. It humbles your pride and builds your faith. Pressure will strip you of everything fake and leave you with what is real. Your values, your vision, your voice. You cannot have purpose without pressure, because pressure reveals what is essential. It forces you to let go of what's unnecessary. It refines your priorities. You start to realize, I don't have time to entertain distractions. I don't have time to play games. I don't have time to waste energy on what doesn't align with my assignment. Pressure will cause you to grow up. To rise up, to focus up, because destiny requires a mature mind, a disciplined soul, and a willing heart. And let me tell you this, pressure doesn't mean you're alone. God doesn't remove his hand just because it gets hard. In fact, it's often in the pressure that he is the closest, shaping you like the potter shapes the clay. He's not punishing you. He's molding you. He's not abandoning you. He's preparing you. There is something he put inside of you that can only come out through the press. Oil doesn't come from olives until they are crushed, and some of the most powerful parts of your purpose will be released when you are pressed. But here's what I know, the pressure won't break you, it might bend you. It might humble you, it might bring tears to your eyes and pain to your chest, but if you stay rooted, if you don't run, if you hold on, you will come out stronger, wiser, and more focused than you've ever been. You will carry weight, you will carry wisdom, you will carry purpose, not because it was handed to you, but because you were forged in the fire and stood the test of pressure. Some of you are in a season right now where the weight feels unbearable. But I came to tell you, the pressure you feel is the process God is using to make you ready. It's not crushing you, it's calling you. Don't let the pressure silence your praise. Don't let the weight make you withdraw. Press back, press deeper, press forward, because your next level is on the other side of your current pressure. You were never meant to fold under it. You were meant to rise through it. So stop asking, why is it so hard? And start declaring, I was made for this. Stop running from the pressure and start recognizing it as a divine tool, a chisel in the hands of the master, carving something beautiful, strong, and purposeful out of you. Purpose requires pressure, not to hurt you, but to build you. Not to destroy you, but to define you. Your destiny is waiting, not in the ease, but in the endurance. And if you can hold on in the heat, if you can stay steady in the pressure, if you can keep your head up and your spirit anchored, what's inside of you will be greater than anything that tries to come against you. We live in a world that teaches you freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. But real freedom is not found in chaos. Real freedom is found in discipline. Discipline is not your enemy. It is your liberator. It doesn't restrict your life. It structures your life so that you can walk in power, purpose, and peace. Because freedom without discipline is just destruction in disguise. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you're called to be. You can't pray your way around it. You can't skip it with talent. You can't replace it with motivation. Discipline is the foundation of every great life. It's not sexy, it's not loud, it's not glamorous, but it's effective. It's the small, deliberate decisions you make day after day that form the life you end up living. People think discipline is about saying no to everything, but discipline isn't just about what you say no to, it's about what you say yes to. When you're disciplined, you're saying yes to your health, you're saying yes to your growth, you're saying yes to your future, you're saying yes to waking up earlier, studying harder, being consistent, honoring your body, protecting your time, managing your money, guarding your peace. You're saying yes to what matters most, and that kind of freedom doesn't come cheap. It comes with sacrifice. It comes with saying no to distractions. It comes with doing the uncomfortable. It comes with choosing structure over spontaneity. But here's the truth. If you don't discipline yourself, life will do it for you. Undisciplined people don't escape pressure. They just experience it later in harder ways. They experience it in regret, in missed opportunities, in broken relationships, in health crises, in financial chaos, and they end up living in bondage to the very things they refuse to discipline. Discipline is what keeps you from being ruled by your feelings. Because feelings are fickle, they rise and fall like the tide, but discipline stands firm. It doesn't ask how you feel. It simply shows up. Discipline says, I may not feel like it, but I will do it anyway. And in doing it anyway, you begin to build the kind of life that doesn't crumble under pressure. You start to live with intention instead of reaction. And let me make this clear. Discipline is not punishment. It's preparation. God disciplines those he loves not to harm them, but to prepare them, to get them ready for the weight of their calling, to build integrity before elevation, to shape your character before he expands your platform. You don't put a crown on a child's head and call them king. You send them to the field, to the fire, to the school of discipline, because ruling requires responsibility, and responsibility demands discipline. Some people want the rewards, but they don't want the requirements. They want the blessing, but not the boundaries. But purpose doesn't come without a price, and the price is daily, disciplined action. It's being faithful when it's boring. It's showing up when nobody's watching. It's keeping your word to yourself when quitting would be easier. That's where the power is. That's where confidence grows. Because every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust, and that trust becomes the internal engine that drives you forward. Discipline trains your focus. It teaches you to ignore the noise. To say, I've got too much purpose to waste energy on petty things. I've got too much future to be distracted by foolishness. Discipline narrows your attention so you can maximize your impact. It tells your time where to go. It gives your energy a destination. And when your energy is focused, your potential becomes unstoppable. People often say, I just want to be free. But freedom is not the absence of rules, it's the presence of order. The most powerful people are not the ones who do whatever they want. They are the ones who can govern themselves. Self-governance is maturity, it's wisdom, it's strength. A person who can rule over their own habits, their own thoughts, their own impulses is more powerful than a person who can rule over nations. And that is the kind of power God wants you to walk in. The kind that doesn't just show up on the outside, but is anchored on the inside. The kind of power that says, I don't need applause to stay consistent. I don't need comfort to stay committed. I don't need motivation to keep moving. I've trained myself. I've disciplined myself. I've built my life on principles that don't move when the storm comes, because storms will come. Distractions will come. Temptations will come. And when they do, it won't be your talent that keeps you standing. It will be your discipline. When everything else is shaking, discipline becomes your foundation. It becomes your freedom, because now you're not controlled by cravings, by opinions, by chaos. You are led by vision, guided by structure, and grounded in truth. So don't despise discipline. Embrace it. Pursue it, build it brick by brick, day by day. Because when you do, you will begin to walk in a level of freedom most people only dream of: the freedom to become, the freedom to rise, the freedom to fulfill your destiny. So now you've heard the call, you've heard the challenge, and you've been told the truth. You are not waiting on greatness. Greatness is waiting on you. It's not hiding behind luck, talent, or opportunity. It's hiding inside your discipline, your decisions, and your daily habits. It's not a mystery, it's a mindset. It's not for the few, it's for the focused. You want to rise, force yourself. You want to grow. Force yourself. You want to break cycles, build legacy, and walk in purpose. Then you've got to force yourself to be the best version of who God called you to be, even when it hurts, even when it's lonely, even when no one sees the sacrifices you're making. Because let me tell you, heaven sees, your labor is not in vain, your grind is not ignored, your obedience is not wasted. Every act of faith, every disciplined moment, every choice to press on when you wanted to give up is creating a harvest that you will soon walk in. You can't coast into greatness. You can't drift into destiny. You must decide to rise, on purpose with purpose. You must build when you don't feel like building. You must pray when you don't feel like praying. You must study when you're tired, show up when you're discouraged, and press forward when it feels like pressure is closing in. This is not the path of the lazy. It is the path of the chosen. So stop waiting to feel ready. Start acting like you were already born ready. Because if God gave you the vision, He also gave you the power to bring it to pass. And it won't come by accident. It will come because you forced yourself to rise above your weakness, your doubt, your fear, your flesh, and walked boldly into your future. This is your season to stop shrinking and start stretching. This is your moment to silence the voice of mediocrity. This is your time to draw a line in the sand and say, I will no longer be at war with my own greatness. I will no longer sit on the sidelines of my destiny. I will no longer wait for permission to pursue purpose. I'm going to get up, show up, grow up, and force myself to become everything I was created to be. Because if you push now, if you dig in now, if you fight through the fatigue now, your future will thank you, your family will benefit, your calling will expand, and the world will witness what happens when a man or woman of God makes a decision to not just exist, but to excel, to not just survive, but to thrive, to not just try, but to transform. Don't leave this life full of potential, die empty, die spent, die fulfilled, leave no greatness buried, no wisdom unused, no gift unoffered. Force yourself to be the best, and you'll discover that the best was inside of you all along. Now rise and walk in it.